The guests and discussions on this show are not endorsed by the show or show host. The content is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Nothing you hear is intended to substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, and/or treatment by a qualified health professional.
Welcome to Health Revolution with V, your integrative health adventure. Welcome to Health Revolution with V. I am Veronica Calveb, your hostess with the mostest, and our show here is all about things integrative health. So anything related to integrative, holistic, any kind of alternative health, the way that our bodies were meant to heal, the natural way. So today I have a very, very special guest. I do want to say too that don't forget you can go to my website or you can go to pretty much any podcast platform and you can see or hear these shows. We're also on the radio. So be sure to check out my website, eatingwithv.com, and you'll be able to find all the places, all of our social medias, everything. So without further ado, I do want to introduce my guest for today, who is an outstanding human. I have known her for several years. She is a psychotherapist and a hypnotherapist. Her name is Gina Eaton, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her real quick. So she has over 25 years of extensive training and experience treating adolescents, adults, couples, and families. Her commitment to lifelong learning extends to the compassionate treatment of those with trauma. So whether that's childhood trauma, any traumatic experiences, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I know a lot of you have experienced at least some level of this kind of trauma. Depression, interpersonal and relationship struggles. Who doesn't have relationship struggles? My goodness, nothing is ever perfect. Eating disorders, life and career transitions, stress management. Who doesn't have stress today? Please. So personal development, she's also great with that. Addiction and compulsive behavior. So there's a lot to talk about today. And I know that all of you, if you have none of these going on, you definitely know someone who does. And if you tell me you have none of these going on, I'm going to call BS. And I can say BS on the show. So anyway, Gina's philosophy is a mind, body, and soul approach that lends to an integrative model of care, which is exactly why she's on this show today. Focuses on treating the whole person because that's what we do. We are not just our brain. We are not just our body. We are a whole entity. Everything is whole. She employs an eclectic therapy style that is guided by her intuition and belief that every individual is unique and may not respond to traditional treatment methods. So that means your treatment is tailored to you because you're an individual, which is the whole integrative approach. So without further ado, I want to bring on my good friend, Gina Eaton. So welcome, Gina.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you here. It took a bit to get her on, but here she is. And she has a lot of really, really great information to share. So first of all, we're going to dive right in because you and I have so much to share. You have so much great information. Okay. First of all, can you explain what a psychotherapist does? What does a psychotherapist do?
So basically, a psychotherapist is just a person that does therapy or counseling and with people who have like mental disorders or issues related to mental health. That's what a psychotherapist can have different types of backgrounds and education, but like training, but most of all, it's doing counseling and talk therapy.
Gotcha. Okay, so they could be specific, like you could specialize, like we said here, you have a lot of specialties. So you've been trained specifically in a lot of different areas where some could be more specific in one kind of or a couple therapies.
Well, there's different types of educational backgrounds. Like there's LCSWs, there are licensed mental health therapists, there's licensed marital and family therapists. So there's different training and specialties, but we're all considered psychotherapists. And
Gotcha.
We all have to take an exam and 2 years of postgraduate studies in order to do that.
Okay, so it's the type of training and then the credentials.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And my training and background is an LCSW, so I'm a licensed clinical social worker.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, tell us about the hypnotherapy side. I love hypnotherapy. Let's talk about that.
So hypnotherapy is basically doing talk therapy under hypnosis. So you're in like a trance state, basically where what you're doing is you're just more like your body's relaxed, but your mind is open and your concentration is more focused. So you're able to do therapy with a person who's under hypnosis.
Nice. Now, can you explain that process just a little bit? Like, explain to us, what does that look like? If, like, say you and I were having a therapy session, can you, like, just, like, an overview of what that looks like?
Basically, what you do is you just help a person go into a relaxed state. So it's kind of like doing meditation, a guided meditation, and just taking the body and helping them become more and more and more relaxed. People sometimes are under the impression it's like what you see on TV, like where you're going to be able to control the person. It's not like that. People are in a trance state every single day. I mean, if you imagine if you're driving in your car on the highway and your body is naturally just doing what you do because you drive every day, and then you hear a song come on the radio. And you go and you reminisce about the past and you reminisce about that song. And before you know it, you're like, wait, where's my exit? Okay, we're in trance all day long, in and out of trance. So it's the same kind of concept. And you're just helping a person relax so that you can tap into the subconscious.
Right. That's an excellent explanation. Yeah. So we get like that. Like I almost call it like in the Matrix, you know what I mean? Where we're running on autopilot, except that you're able to help them in that autopilot state. Right. So you all understand there's not going to make you, cluck like a chicken or bark like a dog. I think those things are that I think scares people sometimes to think about hypnosis. Right. But that's not what Gina is doing here. So I love that. No. So what happens when they're in that state? Like, can you give us some examples?
Well, you help a person relax. You put them in a very relaxed state, kind of like a meditative state, so that they're just more open and receptive and more concentrated. And then you help them tap into certain things that they need to work on. So let's say a person comes in for anxiety or depression or some type of addiction, and there's feelings that are around that. Basically, once you relax them, you'll take them back to the most recent time that they may have had that unwanted behavior. And then you regress them further and further. And what you do is you try to do therapy at that state of where they were, like where the behavior originated, where the feelings originated, and then look at what were the core belief systems at that time. Okay, so people, when they, at certain ages, based on what we go through in our life, and trauma to an adult may look differently to a child, what a child perceives as trauma. And then you do therapy at that time and look at the core belief systems that were developed at that time, and then the behaviors that were created based on those core belief systems. And then you help them to be able to create healthier belief systems so that when they come out of the hypnosis or they come back to their everyday life, they can use the new core belief systems and reinforce some healthier and different types of behavioral patterns.
Nice.
It's actually very profound. So you're working on the conscious and the subconscious together, so it could be very powerful.
Very nice. And so that helps to, I don't want to say change, but it helps to shift the behaviors going forward, right?
Correct.
Almost like a programming of the subconscious mind.
Correct. Okay, it helps people see, too, that the core belief systems that were developed young were not necessarily based on reality, but based on something that was projected onto a person or onto a child. So they're not even based in reality. And it kind of really helps people heal and understand that they're carrying around belief systems that weren't even based on reality, and they can move forward.
Sure. And that's with most things, I would think. Like, if people have a situation happen to them in their life and they've created beliefs around that specific situation, they kind of, we do it. Relationships, right? We carry forward going, I'm never going out with a guy ever again because I had this horrific, right? Right. So know that it's not just any one specific thing. Like Gina will work with pretty much anybody on those previous situations that maybe you can shift them going forward by just kind of reprogramming.
Right. And it's actually pretty profound in terms of like talk therapy helps. Hypnotherapy really gets into where it originated from and helps a person to be able to heal at a completely different level because the subconscious mind takes you to where you need to go.
Yeah, that core. The same with health, like with the body health, right? When you get to and that's how holistic practitioners are. Right. They go to the root of the issue. And so Gina's doing that with these traumas, is getting to the root of that trauma and then healing it from there. Right. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break for our commercial sponsors because we love them, and it's because of them that we have this show. And we'll be back. Don't go away because Gina has a lot more to share with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Have you been told that you need to cut way back on sugars due to a health condition? Do you find yourself struggling to give up the sugars even though you know your health depends upon it? If you answered yes, my online Hidden Sugars class is for you. Take charge of your health and visit eatingwithv.com and take the class.
Apex Electric is a family-owned and operated, licensed and insured electrical contractor with over 30 years of experience. No job is too big or too small. With free estimates and a 1-year warranty, Apex Electric is your premier contractor on the Treasure Coast. AAPEXelectricinc.com.
This is Elaine R. Davis
and Annette Robbins with the Real Team at ROG, Engage, and One Lux.
We are top producing real estate team on the Treasure Coast and proud supporter of V.
Contact us with any of your real estate needs or questions.
For more information, visit ElaineRDavisRealtor.com.
And let us be the key to your real life paradise.
Beach Bowls is a family-owned and operated cafe located in beautiful downtown Fort Pierce and St. Lucie West. They offer delicious homemade smoothies, bowls, sandwiches, and salads made with fresh food from local farmers. Visit beachbowlsfortpierce.com.
Here with Gina Eaton. She is amazing. We've only just begun. She has so much more to tell us. But first off, I need Gina to tell us, how can they get a hold of you?
You could go to my website, which is ginaeaton.com, and my number and information is all on there.
How about you spell that out?
GINAEATON.com.
Perfect. GinaEaton.com. You'll want to go check it out. So if you want to get with her, try to get hypnotized, don't worry, she will not make you bark like a dog. But we have lots more to talk about. So Gina, I feel like in life, people kind of know, especially people who are super passionate, they know who they're calling, what their calling is. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what made you choose this career and why do you feel it's your calling?
I honestly feel like this is my life purpose, is to be a therapist and to help people. And I've always been very sensitive and empathic to others. At a young age, I knew I wanted to be a counselor, and that was reinforced when I was 13. My father, he was 40 at the time, and he had a heart attack and a stroke and came home disabled. And we had speech therapists and we had nurses and occupational therapists, but there was no mental health person that came into the house to work with the family. And it just made me realize that, we really need it. Kids need it, teenagers need it, families need it. So that was one of the main things. And when I was 15, I really struggled with what was going on. And there was a LCSW that worked with me as a counselor and mentored me. And I went into the field just because I wanted to be able to give back. And I just love what I do. To me, going to work every day is not stressful.
See, and that's the best. When you do what you love, but you're still helping people, that is like the ultimate mission. That's why I do what I do. I love what I do too. I love helping people to get healthier. And
me too.
So I think that is so amazing. And when did you know that was your calling? Back then, or?
No, I knew from a very young age, even before that. Like I always knew I wanted to be a counselor, always.
Wow.
Yeah, and I struggled with dyslexia, and a lot of people know because they laugh at how I turn things around. Even my patients laugh about it. But I still knew that what I wanted to do, and school was not easy. It was hard, but there was no way I could be where I got here unless I went to college and pushed through it. So nothing was going to stop me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And you're changing lives all as you go. So tell me a little bit about what kind of person would come to you for, what are you seeing mainly in your practice? Who's coming to you for help?
Well, I have different ages. I would say my youngest person is about 13, and the oldest right now on my caseload is 86. So I see a wide range from different populations, cultures, backgrounds, all different types of people. And mainly what I get a lot of, my career has kind of shifted as time goes on, but I'm seeing mostly a lot of anxiety. And I believe since COVID, some of that has intensified. And I've actually seen anxiety in patients that are much younger. Like years ago, you go back, 15, 20 years ago, I didn't see such young grade school kids and teenagers having it to the same level that I see today. So I treat a lot of anxiety, a lot of trauma, a lot of childhood trauma, and a lot of trauma as adults, and helping them get past that trauma and giving them tools so that they can be able to function and be able to feel good and happy and not continue to be traumatized all the time.
Sure. I would think too, we are in unprecedented times. You know what I mean? We've never been in a space where we've masked children in school. And I'm sure that that would be extremely traumatic to children. I know it was as a grown-up, and I wouldn't even wear it. So I think it's, I think we're just in that time where people have stress coming from so many places. And I think it's more important now than ever.
Yes.
Can you explain, we talked a little bit about the intuitive side of your practice. So can you explain that, like your intuition and your intuitive side and how you integrate that into your practice?
That's a hard question to be able to ask because it's just something that I do. I don't, I've always said my assessment skills are amazing. A person comes in and I've always just known, it was like kind of like a puzzle. I could put the pieces together when I worked with families. And over the years, as I've gotten older, I realized it's more just I'm empathic, and I'm very intuitive about things, and I can just pick up kind of what's going on with somebody. And I've done some studies in Eastern medicine and other cultures, and just learned how to be able to read people in a different way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's 100% accurate. I mean, I have an energy read on people, and I feel that's pretty similar. You know what I mean? I don't know so much maybe empathic, but I think just
sensitive, just being sensitive to be able to read people, you know.
And that's important. I mean, when you have a person that is coaching or counseling you, for them to know you at a deeper level like that is pretty impressive.
And you have to help people, people to be able to feel safe, and you have to have that ability to just give them the space to be able to do the work that they need to do.
Yeah. And you have that energy about you too. You just do. You have that very open energy and that very kind energy that is perfect for the counseling arena. I mean, I think that's just amazing. Okay, so can you maybe tell us, is there like a tip or trick, something that you can share, maybe a tip or two that might help people in general who are going through anxiety or stress or trauma?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I try to work on is helping people to be able to stay present. A lot of times people are focusing on the past and obsessing about the past and reminiscing about the past or their traumas and what they went through, and that becomes their identity. And when they do that, it sometimes can cause depression and can cause them to stay stuck and obsessive. And when people focus on the future and they worry about, what's going to happen, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or they just start worrying about just everything that's going to happen later on, they get anxious and it causes a lot of internal struggles. So I really work with people on staying in the present moment and being a conscious participant in their life.
Nice.
Like really being aware and being open to what they're doing.
Awesome. Yeah, present consciousness is very, very important.
Yeah.
We are going to have to take one more quick break, but we will be back. Don't go away. We have more from Gina Eaton, so we'll be back in just a moment. The Health Revolution with V Show is your hub for all things integrative, holistic, and natural health on the Treasure Coast. If you are in the natural health arena and would like to be on the show and or advertise with us, please visit eatingwithv.com and click Health Revolution with V. Is your insurance company telling you that you have to replace your roof? Nice Roofing is a family and veteran-owned and operated local business. Choose peace of mind and quality work with this Owens Corning Platinum Certified contractor. Join thousands of satisfied customers. Visit niceroofing.com.
At Your Body Bliss, our passion is creating handcrafted bath and body products for your entire family. From our hand-poured soaps and authentic Castile soap to incredible lotions and more, all made with ethically sourced quality ingredients. With love from our family to yours, yourbodybliss.com.
The Porch Factory is the #1 screen company on the Treasure Coast. Right now, we're offering screen repair. For $99, you'll get a screen inspection twice a year and first priority service if a storm comes. And close it so you can use it. Visit theporchfactory.com. That's theporchfactory.com.
Welcome back. We are still here with Gina Eaton. I'm so excited. If you want to connect with her, it's ginaeaton.com, GINAEATON.com. Don't forget, go to the website, and we're going to get right back into it. We don't have a lot of time left, so we want some more tips from Gina because she has some great information to share. So welcome back. All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of these other techniques that you have that people can use in their daily life.
Okay. So when a lot of people are struggling with anxiety and just worrying, it's really important to stay in the present moment and to be grounded. So I kind of use the analogy, like if a boat is not anchored, what happens to the boat? It drifts. If you're not anchored in your life, you're going to drift. You're going to be distracted. So I think it's important for people to have healthy distractions, not distractions that are going to be self-destructive. So being a conscious participant, meaning you make a conscious decision of how you're going to do a behavior to help distract yourself or make yourself be more, healthy. For instance, I'm going to go take a walk, or I'm going to watch a Netflix show, or I'm going to, pet my dog or play with my cats, where you're making a conscious decision to do something to distract you. Another thing is, like for grounding, I use the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, which is basically to use your senses. So you look at, 5 things that you can see in the room, but, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you could smell, and then 1 thing you can taste. Oh. I also use a technique of ice. Ice is extremely helpful when you're working with teenagers, with people who have anger, or even a person that's just really, really having like an episode of anxiety. I use ice when people go into shock in my hypnosis sessions.
Ice as in like cold ice?
Yes. So you would go take 2 pieces of ice and hold the ice and let the ice melt. And that does a shift and helps to be able to bring a person sometimes out of the state that they're in.
Oh, because it's engaging a couple senses for sure.
Right. And it helps tremendously. There's a lot of research out there on how ice will help with grounding and help with trauma.
That is so interesting. Yeah. So we have an ice technique, the grounding technique. So what are some of your other grounding techniques that you would want to share with somebody? Is there like a specific one, like where they put their feet on the floor and kind of be...
Well, I do a lot of, mindfulness and a lot of, yes, you put your feet on the floor, and sometimes what you can do is you can just visualize that you have almost like you're under a waterfall and the waterfall is coming down. So I use like the Wizard of Oz, the melting, witch, like you kind of feel like that you're just melting into the chair slowly.
Ooh.
And, coming like as if the waterfall, and you're just slowly coming down until you completely melt. And it just helps the person relax. I also do some box breathing, which is basically you breathe in to the count of 4, you hold it, and then hold it to the count of 4, release it to the count of 4, and then rest for the count of 4. That helps people as well too, especially if they're having a struggling in the moment. I think
we should do that together. What do you think? I think we should. Let's do the breathing. Show us how to do it.
So basically, what you do is you take a deep breath in. Hold it to the count of 4. Release it to the count of 4. And then rest for the count of 4. And you do that again. You do it for about a minute, and it naturally lowers the central nervous system.
And you feel it like immediately. I noticed that with breath work. I love breath work. Yeah. But you can feel like right away the whole body just kind of relaxing. So,
and I do a lot of hypnosis techniques without actually having to regress a person. Because hypnosis, a lot of it is is really helping you with those core belief systems and changing how you see yourself.
Nice. Excellent. So we have ice technique. We have grounding techniques. We have present moment awareness techniques. Do you have information on your website too, where they could maybe go see some of your videos, or do you offer techniques? Or
I don't offer techniques, but that's really a good suggestion to put on my website. Thank you, Veronica.
See, yay, we have her putting techniques on the website. Yeah, because then maybe there could be videos that you can.
Right. Yeah, I'm really big in helping people have tools in their toolbox, because we all need tools in our toolbox in order to be able to go out and do what we need to do and function.
For sure. Well, Gina's given us a lot of great information today. Unfortunately, we have to go, but I was so excited. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, so excited to have her here. Be sure to share this show. You can see all the shows on eatingwithv.com. We'll see you on the next episode of Health Revolution with V. Did we just make it?